All right, Brittany is here talking about the forecast. We need the rain. We're seeing some rain potentially on the radar, but it's not making it to the ground.
Hopefully it will in a few hours.
Good.
It's the dry air.
Yeah.
And normally what happens is if you have hours and hours of rain, it will eventually saturate the atmosphere enough that it comes down. But we just don't have a ton of heavy rain, so it's going to take a long time for that to happen. In fact, if you look at our dew points right now, I put the key on so you guys can see the comparative of very nice compared to decent conditions. That's where we are right now. So think the lowest dew points we typically see with the exception of winter. However, over the next 24 hours, we do start to see those dew points creep back into the upper 50s, even a few times near 60, which gets you kind of into that sticky category. So there's certainly a chance, especially tomorrow morning, that we will start to see the atmosphere saturate enough for this to reach the ground. Even if it does, it's going to be extremely, extremely light. So any kind of accumulation is going to be extremely light as well. But what it will likely set us up for success-wise is more chances that this rain will reach the ground tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. So here's what's going on right now. Again, you can see a lot of green here being picked up mainly along and north of the I-85 corridor, but most of this not reaching the ground. I looked at some of our mountain cams and it looks like it's not quite reaching the ground there either, but you can see almost what looks like a bit of a haze and mist, and that is likely from some of this drizzle high up in the atmosphere. Now, regardless of how much reaches the ground, we will start to see this fizzle out after 5 a.m. So between now and 5 is when it's most likely to happen, meaning if there is some rain on the ground, we'll see slick spots maybe for tomorrow morning's commute, but it's not going to be a situation where it's actively raining or really even actively heavy raining by 6 and 7 when many people are going to work. Very few showers there overnight. We see another round potentially around 2-3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, but then heavier rain is likely for early Saturday morning. You'll notice it's starting to push in here as we get closer to 2 a.m. when it starts. Here's 5, there's 6. Again, it's not a ton, but it is rain nonetheless. So tonight into early Friday, and then Friday night and into early Saturday. Those are those two distinct rounds of showers with even an isolated thunderstorm lingering Saturday afternoon. But notice it's going to be a very, very isolated chance. In fact, if you see a storm on Saturday afternoon, you'll be one of the lucky ones. May even need to go buy a lottery ticket with that one because it's really that low of a chance. We're nice and dry by Sunday afternoon. So how much rain could we see? Well, I think it's cautiously optimistic to think 1/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch closer to the mountains. We started to see these totals diminish a bit, but again, honestly, I would take anything that's 0.01 at this point because we really, really do need the rain. We're already about 2 inches below where we should be just for the month of November, on top of the fact that we've already seen drier than normal conditions and a drought setup. Over the next 3 days, we are going to see pretty warm temperatures. In fact, Saturday will be another day that we will see temperatures likely breaking a record here in the Queen City. Now, tomorrow still warm, but not quite there. And then Sunday will be upper 60s to lower 70s. So across the board, will be cooler compared to Saturday, but still above average for this time of year. In fact, there's a ton of stuff going on in your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. So here's a look. You can see again tomorrow we'll see that chance for rain mainly early in the morning. Another round possible on Saturday. Saturday likely a record high once again going to be broken. A little bit cooler, a little bit drier for the early half of the work week. Then we do turn to a cooler pattern by Thanksgiving, and that pretty much expands all the way into next week. A lot of stuff happening the 27th, 28th, and 29th. So just prepare for those cooler afternoons and chillier mornings.